And we're back here, second hour main event. Don't forget, hit us up. We're live on YouTube right now, 8 to 10 a.m. live on YouTube, TME Media AZ, of course. There, hit us up, 623-252-6670, our text line as well. I did get, interesting enough, no Tori must go text today, which I could tell you, I think I know who the person is that's texting. I'm on to you. I know I'm on to you, because I think I follow him on Twitter as well. And they are, no matter what the Diamondbacks do, they're like, Tori's got to go. They find things to fire him. I'm not knocking him. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I told you last week. I think it's time to move on from Tori, even with what they're doing this year. And I'm just bracing everybody now. They make the playoffs, folks. He ain't going anywhere. So brace yourself for that conclusion coming up here as well. But we'll get into the Diamondbacks in a little bit. But 623-252-6670. At TME Sports Show, hit us up there as well, or join us on the YouTube chat. Fun times out there as well. And, we're talking NFL stuff. Had fun with Vinatieri, talking about the Bills Stadium. Drew Brees' speech was good. I just didn't find anything where I was like, it's not going to stick with me. I have already forgotten what half of what he said was. Same thing with Luke Kuechly, Roger Craig.
See, I don't. So in other words, you have to be crass in your jokes or be a local guy for Steve to remember.
Do bathroom humor or be local.
Yeah.
Sums it up.
So did you nitpick?
No, they were good. It's just I couldn't relate to them. It's like a woman comedian. I'm sure they're funny. I just can't relate to them. Can't relate to their jokes.
You can't relate to the immense responsibility Drew Brees felt after Katrina.
That was fantastic. But here's the other side of it. I lived through that. I remember what, and now you don't hear the inside stories and stuff, but I remember what all that was and everything. Yeah. So it was, like I said, it was fun to hear, but I don't feel like I should rush to the show and be like, Drew Brees' section of the show. It's like, okay.
I sure as hell wouldn't want you to be a teacher of mine. D+. But, sir, everything's grammatically correct, and it's interesting.
Where's the heart?
I know.
Where's the feeling? The problem with Roger Craig is he played so long ago that a lot of the people listening to that don't know who he is. Right? You know what I mean? Like, Roger Craig retired when I was a kid. Like, I think he retired before I was 10. Did he play? He didn't play till 87, right? He played till like 84, 85, something like that.
He played 83 to 92.
He did. Oh, he did go into the 90s. Then. Yeah. So I mean, that was young. That was like my football time frame that he played. Oh, for some reason, I was thinking he was done like mid 80s there. My time frames are all screwed up. I still think 30 years ago is like my parents were born. I'm just all messed up here. But a lot of people today don't know who Roger Craig was and how he played. Is what I'm getting at. So it's hard to relate to those types of stories, and even Larry's. Like I said, the Denny Green story was fantastic because we were there. We were there for that move and everything when he was drafted. His Kurt Warner stuff. It was fantastic to hear because we just lived through that not too long ago. That's why you got to get these guys into the Hall of Fame sooner than 30 years after they retire. Just saying.
Well, and obviously everything. He played 11 seasons, 83 to 90.
Okay, so I was backwards. I thought he was late 70s to middle to
you just
late.
Didn't care. You
80s.
didn't have any empathy for him.
No, I actually cared more about his speech because he got in before he left us.
Yeah.
You get up to that age, man, especially a running back, and it's like, ooh. I hate it when they put him in after they die. That actually.
Well, he's only 2 years older than me. Is that how you talk about me?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God,
night?
Dale! I had a meeting last week, and people are like, "What are you going to do if Dale can no longer do the show and is no longer with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'll have to find a replacement. Should I start now?" And they were like, "I'd probably."
You said, you said I already got 3 names in the hopper.
Yeah, I said, "Do I replace him now or do I wait till it gets bad?" So, it's getting advice from people on that.
Yeah. Always thinking forward. That's what they say about
Hey,
Steve.
Dale, that's what leaders do. You have your contingency plans out there.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Daybreak Services just closed, and I had replacements for that within a day and a half, and that was something that I didn't see coming. as quickly as it came. I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was going to come that fast. I had contingencies ready to go. That's what leaders do. They plan ahead. They foresee things. If this happens, this happens. I'm a leader, dang it! In all seriousness now, we're having some fun with Dale here, but in all seriousness, obviously Larry was the most important just because, local.
Yes.
I saw him play his whole career. All of that stuff out there. Here he is, Larry 1A. Let's just throw it out there. And Larry's beginning of his speech here, folks, I thought was a really nice way to start it. Larry 1A, Ethan.
I just want to show a little love to my Cardinal fans here in attendance today. And to the Cardinal fans back home in Arizona, you guys supported us on and off the field over the years. You showed up at home games. You showed up at away games through wins and losses. It's been 22 years and counting, Arizona, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to replenish the well of goodwill I have been lucky enough to drink from.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, that's a hell of a line right there. I don't think I've actually ever heard anybody say that before.
Yeah. No, it is. That's what it struck me. I was like, that's a heck of a way to start, man. Just flat out there. He lives here still, considers it his home. He's taught his kids to be active in the community. You heard that from a Bruce Cooper story last week. His kids are showing up to stuff and supporting the community, even though his oldest one's now going to Notre Dame and playing football there. Just a fantastic start. And you hear people all the time, and these players talk about, Drew Brees did it with the Saints and all of that stuff. You think the fan, wow, that was like heartfelt from Larry, and it almost made it sound like, I will say this, I don't remember if he said it in his speech or he said it afterwards, but Larry was pretty much like, I'm here because of the fans. You hear him say that kind of like, they just say it because they have to say it. Like, I feel like Larry means it. Kind of fun.
Whether he does or he doesn't is beside the point.
But he makes you feel like he means
it. Tell me this, because I was thinking about this Saturday when I was here listening to his speech. Is Larry the most popular Cardinal ever?
Yes.
I mean, you got Tillman.
Okay, that's where I was going to go at, because Jake Plummer was really popular,
but not here very long.
But what happens to our superstars is then people turn on them.
Yeah.
So Jake had to go to Denver and stuff like that, or Tampa, whatever the story
Denver
was.
first.
Denver first, and then then he retired. But Tillman for a different reason. Tillman was extremely popular, but again, short time frame. And he's more popular now because of what he did for self-sacrifice and stuff like that, and things to that effect. But in terms of like on the football field, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he surpasses Buddha, who, folks, people, if you don't know that, people love them some Buddha Baker. Like I last year made a comment off air, like with a group of people, and I was like, Buddha's on the backside of his career. You would have thought I kicked somebody's dog. They were insulted by this.
Well, you probably did that at the same time, knowing you.
I kicked the dog afterwards, but when they were already mad. But yeah, no, he's got to be. Name somebody else.
Well, I mean, obviously you had Kurt Warner for a short period.
But short period. Yeah, he was never. You were mad Kurt Warner retired from the Cardinals just because you're like, we're going to suck again. It wasn't mad because Kurt Warner was leaving himself. It was because, oh man, our quarterback situation is terrible.
Well, and he retired after a playoff season.
That's what I was saying. Like, Aeneas Williams was a homegrown guy. He ended up playing in St. Louis and stuff at the end of his career. So he wasn't here all the time. So you take him off of that. But Aeneas Williams was loved as a Cardinal. But he was nowhere near Larry's level. Like, Larry's the first one that got into the Hall of Fame where you were like, that's our guy, and the feeling's mutual.
Here's what's so fascinating when you think back, and I remember Coop talking about it, and I kind of remember it. The fact that Larry was so adverse to the media.
Yes.
His first maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah, might have been longer than that.
At least for the first 3-4 years. To where he would get out of the locker room before the media came in.
He left the field. He left the field early. Mm-hmm. If the defense was on the field with 15 seconds left and the game was over, ding, straight to the locker room.
Shower and out.
Yeah.
And again, I think if that happens in Dallas or Philly or Chicago or someplace New York, you're getting lambasted.
Well, yeah, because the media there.
And then he changed, and he
he got called out publicly and got fined, and then he had to stick around. I don't know the exact timeline, but I believe when Kurt Warner got here, there was a big maturity jump with Larry Fitzgerald.
Yes.
It might have been before that because he was, but I know when Kurt got here, a huge maturity jump happened.
Yes, because I
when he
think
got here.
again, Kurt. Whatever you think of him, whatever, obviously a godsend to this franchise at that time. But I've heard Larry talk in the past, and he did a little bit on Saturday.
Yeah.
And he credits Kurt a lot with him growing up.
Yeah.
And hey, this is important. You need to be a lot more serious about what you're doing.
Kurt talked about. I saw so many interviews last week. It might have been with Cam Cox on one of those 12 News hits,
Right.
And everything, where he talked to Kurt, and Kurt told the story of, he was told that Larry was 5 yards short of a 100-yard game or whatever early,
Right.
and they were like, we're going to throw a little out route, and they had the game won already, and Kurt went to Larry and it's like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Right.
And he did that because he was like, if I can do that to Larry, then the team knows I'll do that to them. It'll make us tougher and stuff to that effect. And, and Larry was probably mad at first about it,
Right.
but then he kind of understood it afterward. Fantastic story. Those are behind the scene things and stuff like that. But that's the funny thing is you look back and you just automatically think Larry was always that guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't that way at all.
No, I mean, you come in, he's a younger kid. He played 3 years at Pitt.
Wasn't he 1920 when he got here? He was super
20.
young.
Yeah, I think he's probably 20.
He was super young.
Super talented and all that, and so obviously he had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And I think Kurt Warner had a guy, Larry Fitzgerald had a guy.
Yeah. You had a guy.
But most people had a guy
Yeah.
that taught you the ropes on. Hey, if you want to play this game for a while, you got to do A, B, C, and D.
There's I hear a lot of that talk in the NBA circles, how to go from college to NBA, that's a business.
Yeah.
Go from playing for fun, which I know it's not anymore. I think Grant Hill tells stories on that where he had to learn how to be a professional in the NBA because it's not all about basketball, folks, to stay in the league.
Well, I mean, Charles Barkley famously tells a story about Moses Malone, and he said
and with him,
he was talking to him, and Moses said, hey, you can be one of the greatest players that ever played the game, but you're fat.
He really said that.
You're fat. And
people didn't talk to Charles Barkley like that.
No, he said, and then what he said, and Kurt said it a little bit with Larry, the fact that Moses said, I'll meet you in here early each day.
Yeah.
And I'll work out with you.
Yeah.
And that's when Charles goes, well, the first 10 came off easy. And then it's like, oh, I like the way I feel. I like the way I'm playing. But without Moses right in his face, Charles, you're fat. He might have lasted 8 years in this league at 300 pounds.
Yeah, but the other side of it is he lambasted him and told him the truth, made him make a decision, but then he offered to be like, hey, I'll come in here, which showed I'm not bigger than you on this.
Right.
I've been in the league long enough. I can come to it. And Kurt was willing to do that with Larry. And those stories are fantastic because you don't get to that level. That's why I kind of give you a hard time. You don't get to that level unless you have somebody to guide you. You don't just show up and you're just naturally. Even the greats that show up in this league, Randy Moss was a perennial a-hole, folks, early in his career.
Yeah.
And some would argue he stayed that way, but he did improve over the time because somebody got to him. It was like, you'll be out of the league with all your talent if you keep acting this way.
Yeah.
And they got to him to where then he all of a sudden realized he had to do work ethics and not be a jerk and stuff like that. So everybody needs somebody like that because your talent can get you there, but you have to sustain it for 20. The world is littered with guys with absolutely the best talent out there that didn't make it because of some other reason.
You talk about basketball, and you can go to parks in New York City and Los Angeles,
They're
even
better than
downtown
NBA
Phoenix, littered with guys with the talent to play D1 college ball, high level.
They can't play the game. They can't play the game they need to play to play at that level and stuff like that. It's an amazing story. And Larry talked about it a lot, which I thought Well, I mean, look at Drew Brees, right? I mean, we always have that conversation. Kyler Murray's short. Drew Brees ain't a tall guy, folks. He used to stand on his tippy toes to throw the football down the field because he couldn't see. So he had to stand on his tippy toes to look. You can be short, and Russell Wilson was short and was still able to make it perform. It's easy to make fun of on the size, but it's the work ethic and how you learn to adjust your abilities to get to there is what you need to
and
have.
Drew Brees told a story. Again, he had a coach in Sean Payton that he drove his players. So it's disciplinarian and kind of an a-hole, like you like to say. And
kind of, he's a giant
and
a-hole.
evidently in that first training camp or something, there's a preseason game or something. There's somebody wide open. And Sean said, "Why don't you throw it to him? He's wide open." I didn't see him.
Yeah.
And Sean said, "You'll never use that as an excuse again. Figure out your job is to figure out a way to see him.
Yeah. Your job is to find that open man." Yeah.
And he said that lasted with me for however long he played.
And this is Drew Brees, who was having success before he got there.
Yeah.
He could have walked in and been like, "This is my team," and all that, and been egotistical about it, and probably won the battle if you wanted to have a battle with somebody. So these stories are amazing from that perspective. Here's Larry again, another clip from Larry while he's speaking, our last clip here of him actually speaking. Give it to us, Ethan. Larry 1.
There's never much traffic on the extra mile in life. Bring others along with you. Don't just pursue excellence for yourself. Help others pursue it too. That's the part of this story that matters the most. It's not the likes. It's not the follows. It's not the fame. But the people you travel with, the values you uphold. And in the end, it's not just about excellence. It's about the people who you help get there.
That's as pointing as can be. I'm big on that philosophy. I talk about it all the time, like in what we do here, right? There is a whole slew of media people that are in it for themselves, and they don't care who you are, and they have no desire to help you. All them, and I'm the greatest. You can't touch me type of an attitude and stuff like that. And I'm just like, dude, just take people under your wing and help them out and move them along and show them the ropes and stuff like that. And I'm big on that. And I had a feeling Larry was going to touch on that. You hear the stories from Coop, your public ones. I've heard private ones, folks, that, Larry it doesn't matter who you are. If Larry's doing something, he'll just grab you and force you to come along with him. And do the right thing and learn how to do the process and stuff like that. He's not wrong, man. Find somebody. No matter what you do in your job today, if you have a young kid working or something, take somebody under your wing, man, and take them along that expressway with you. It's worthwhile.
Again, another line that I hadn't heard used before. There's not much traffic on the extra mile.
I know.
Because most people, hey, I've done enough.
I'm done.
This
Get off.
My workout calls for this. This, and that's a great motto to live by, especially in sports.
Yeah,
it's in life,
everything, but sports.
But in sports too.
It's like, oh, I can't lift another thing. We'll do one more rep.
Yeah,
everybody else is getting off on that 15th rep at 300 pounds breast press. That's what I do. I stop at 15, at 350 pounds, just so you guys know. But the guy that's making the pros over there is doing that 16th one. I stop at 15, folks, just so you know.
We had to run 18 110s for our conditioning test in Dallas. And I always got to 20 when I worked out here in Dallas.
110 yards?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's far.
30 seconds rest.
That's far.
But I always got to where I could do a couple more.
Yeah, I just started sweating. Thinking about it.
It's come up recently because it's hot it's been and all that, and Brooke used to go. She used to demand because I'd go to different high schools.
Yeah,
depending on where I was in the valley when it's time to go run, and I'd always do it middle of the afternoon because in Dallas that's when our conditioning test was noon, 1 o'clock in Dallas.
And it ain't cool there.
No,
it ain't cold weather.
It's because I need to know what high school you're going to in case you faint.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And then I remember this one story, the fact that I was at Desert Mountain High School. I was out there. It's 1 o'clock. It's probably about 108, 109. And I wasn't feeling it that day. But I always found a way to get through them.
Well, that's what sets you apart. Everybody else would have said, I'm not feeling right today. I'm just going to go home.
And about halfway through, one of those, gosh, the car's over there, air conditioning, whatever. And I look up, and there's a frickin' buzzard sitting on the fence.
Just staring at
And
you.
I go, that SOB is saying there's dinner and probably a little bit more if he falls down.
Just
And
staring
it
at you.
spurred me on to get through the thing.
That's hilarious. Oh,
Look
gosh.
at that big plump dinner.
Then, of course, Larry and his bust reveal. I mean, this is a special moment. If you didn't, he talked about it leading up to it. If you didn't see any of the press conferences, his dad was going to present him. Larry's
Yep.
dad was going to present him. He actually, I saw a clip for, I think it was on his media day in Canton, but he said, he goes, man, I wish, if you don't know, he knew his dad's time was coming. He wasn't doing well and stuff to that effect. So he knew it was coming. And he actually regrets not, getting his dad more involved in it beforehand and stuff like that, so he could have it for the enshrinement and stuff like that and everything. But he gets his kid, right? Two things on this. One, his oldest kid, brings him up there. But then two, I mean, his kid's starting his college jersey now, right? With Notre Dame. And, you can't tell me that for a kid, right? We talk about second generation all the time. I will be shocked and floored if Devin Fitzgerald, I'm not going to say he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'll be shocked and floored if he's not really good in college. And we'll see how it portrays in the thing. Just because, yes, they have excess. You heard Coop talk about their bedroom that Coop saw one time.
Yeah.
They grew up a way that we do not understand. But I don't think this is a kid you got to worry about not putting the extra effort in and stuff like that. And then your dad's Hall of Fame enshrinement, and then you have to go back to Notre Dame camp. I bet you he was the best, most motivated kid out there the next day.
Well, just to be around all those people.
That's the other
too.
side of
Yeah.
it. Meeting other Hall of Fame receivers and stuff of that effect. So here's the bust reveal for Larry with his son, of course, from Saturday. First of all, come on, Larry. Why do you have to show everybody up with your dressing and stuff? He's got a vest on that.
And it's
matches the
hot there,
coat.
by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, met with his coat. Not a bad bust, actually. There's some bad.
Yeah.
There's some bad ones out there that you're like,
Yeah.
if you saw the bust, you would have no idea who the player was. But that is an amazing moment. It's almost like handing the baton off to your kid and go, it's your turn. Go do it. Go to
Yeah.
Notre Dame and get it done. So yes, it's terrible. It's awful that his dad's not there to be there to support him and stuff like that. But then I look at it as it's almost like it was meant to happen this way for his oldest son, who's now making his chart as a wide receiver. And if you don't know, it's one thing to follow your dad's footsteps and play football. It's another thing to play his position. Because every time he
Right.
catches a ball, everybody's going to go, that's not what Larry did. I'll tell you this as well. I saw him play at Brophy a couple times. I had visions of, is that Larry out there? Same mannerisms, same running style,
Right.
same everything. And it's just like, what?
It'll be interesting to see how he feels out and all that. But yeah, I don't know how Larry got through it without crying.
Yeah, I was actually shocked by that. Does he not ever smile?
I mean, when I talk about my dad in public,
Yeah.
I still get a little teary eyed. It's been 20, 30 years.
I think I know how he did it, though, because I heard afterwards, I saw a little clip on him, and he said the speech has been done for a couple months, but he's practiced it like 100 times.
Mhm.
I'm willing to bet you that he got to the point where it was like just saying words. So even though you're up there, it's an emotional moment and stuff like that, you expect it. He was on autopilot with that speech after that much time, to where it was kind of like, that's probably partly why he did it, Dale. Right? Did it that way to talk about it and stuff like that out there. And then, of course, Larry, next day in the Arizona Republic. It's hard to read. We won't go through it. But again, his first thing there, talking about the fans and, the fans. Did you hear the roar of the Arizona Cardinal fans? There's one thing that Arizona Cardinal fans take a lot of heat, because there's not 100,000 of them that do this stuff. But there's a firm amount of fans that travel with this team, go to away games,
Yeah.
and support this team beyond belief. They have a loyal fan base out there. A lot of them showed up to this event. You heard the roar earlier. Larry put the letter out to the Arizona Republic, thanking fans as well. It's hard to read on the screen if you guys didn't see it. But Ethan, throw that up there. First of all, I mean, the picture is fantastic to throw that out there and everything. So basically, you know, he just thanks the fans. He says, I gotta pull it up on my computer here, so I have the old man reading here as well. He basically, this is a thank you letter here that he put out there. You know, he says, I arrived in Arizona as a 20-year-old kid who didn't know a single person. I had no idea this desert would become the place that would shape me into the man I am today. That's how the letter starts. Then he goes on down. This is what, I mean, genius move here. The day I landed was the same day the nation learned Pat Tillman had lost his life. And he goes, Pat's one of America's great heroes. Did you know that? I had no idea that he showed up and that happened at that time as well. He goes, I stepped off the plane into a state where its people were carrying real grief and something inside me grew quiet. I started paying attention. And he goes, you learn quickly what loyalty looks like when it isn't just a word at that point. And then he goes on to talk about his next 17 seasons and stuff like that. I mean, I didn't know that aspect of it. I knew he was here after, you know, when Pat Tillman had died, in terms of that was the season. But to step off the plane into an environment where a legend of the Valley here, you know, and all of the stuff around Pat Tillman happened, and then you're the next guy up. We always talk about it. Don't be the guy that follows the guy. Be the guy that follows the guy that follows the guy.
Yes.
And that just led me to more respect for Larry Fitzgerald and the way his career went, what he meant here. Never left when he had the opportunities to. And he takes crap for it, folks. People give him crap for staying. But when you read his language and when you see his stuff and the way he talks about it, you read this letter, you understand why he stayed. He was loyal to the state, you know, and loyal to us here in Arizona, and that stuff. And I think it's fantastic. I didn't think it would be possible for me to respect a human being more than I already did Larry Fitzgerald. And after the experience on Saturday, I think, you know, Larry's the one guy that got it to happen.
He did everything the right way. And again,
but even when he messed up, it was correct.
Yeah, it's not that he. I mean, he didn't come in here and start off catching 100+ balls a season and all that.
He was shown up by Anquan Boldin.
Yeah, and he struggled at times, but boy, oh boy.
One of the reasons Anquan Boldin left was he was the better receiver, and Larry got the bigger payday.
Yeah,
because Anquan was a second rounder. Second or third? Second rounder?
Second rounder, yeah.
And Larry, obviously, number 3.
Right.
But he was pissed Larry was getting all the money.
Number 3 overall.
Overall, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was pissed Larry was getting all the money because he was the better receiver at the beginning. He'll keep that in mind as well. It's unbelievable. You can't be more impressed with Larry, and he's an Arizona Cardinal in the Hall of Fame. He's our guy in there. And that's why this is special. I ain't gonna lie. Like, this could have been any other player that I grew up watching. Like, I'm just gonna throw. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but let's say Buda Baker gets in. I won't feel this way about Buda Baker as I do about Larry. Especially the way I feel about him off the field and things to that effect is what puts you over there. I'm not saying Buda Baker's a bad guy, but he ain't Larry level. From that, that perspective and stuff. And it just, over the weekend, it's just the more I got, more and more impressed I got with Larry.
Right.
And it's just like, man, I was already impressed with you, buddy. I was already holding you up on this big pedestal. And now the pedestal just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger to where the point where, I mean, you know, Dale, you and you'll be gone, I'll be gone, Ethan's around, and Ethan will be able to talk to his kids and his grandkids, you know, someday when the Cardinals are, you know, sucking like they always do and all that. And you'll take your kid to the game, and Larry will be up in the Hall of Fame there, you know, up in the rafters.
Right.
And you'll be able to tell your kids about what, you know, Grandpa Steven said about Larry Fitzgerald and watching him play out there and stuff. So Cardinals will honor Hall of Fame wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. Halftime of the October 25th game versus the Denver Broncos. So obviously he's going into the Ring of Honor. And the reason why Carson Beck's not wearing number 11, which was his college number, is because they're retiring the number for the Cardinals coming up in October. If you didn't know, that's why he's not wearing number 11.
Okay.
So October 25th, we got the day.
You going to be there, Steve?
We'll be at that game because I want to see the Broncos in person. So I'll be there for that. I'm not going for the Larry thing, but there will be people that are going to buy tickets for just the halftime situation and stuff like that. So fantastic, just a overall fantastic weekend in terms of the Hall of Fame side of it. Really quick before we take our break here, I asked Dale before the show, did you see the Steve Keim news out there over the weekend? Did y'all see this Steve Keim news out there?
And I didn't.
I don't know how you missed it. Steve Keim, ex-GM of the Arizona Cardinals. Some guys out there claiming that Steve Keim was running a Ponzi scheme and ripping off athletes, taking their money. He was in charge of it and stuff like that. And that's shocking by itself. Like,
Yeah.
really? You're charging, like, he would. It's a long convoluted story, but basically, he would approach NFL players and be like, "We can do this for you, this for you." And one player I know gave him $1 million. Has no idea where that money went, allegedly. So that type of stories are out there. They called it a Ponzi scheme. The person that was reporting on it and stuff like that, right? And things. So that's an alarming thing right there.
Yes.
As an ex-GM of the league. But then DeAndre Hopkins responded to that post. DeAndre Hopkins, folks, number 10.
Yeah.
I think he's a Hall of Famer in the NFL. I mean, he was unbelievable, but he was like quiet, so I'm not sure. Got that bad rap there in Texans land and everything. But very good receiver in this league. Very, very good receiver in this league.
Yes.
Whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. He came out and he alleged that Steve Keim, the ex-Cardinals GM, had something to do that contaminated his drug test that led to a 6-game suspension. And with that suspension, it cost him $13 million because you get suspended without pay for
Right.
drug suspension and stuff like that. D-Hop specifically wrote, "I got set up when I played for his team and lost $13 million. Contaminated drug test. Go figure how that happened." So you got allegations now out there of Steve Keim being a Ponzi scheme guy, taking money from people and losing it.
Did you see what?
And now D-Hop's out there. This could have happened. This was when I played for the Cardinals, I got set up. There's no ambiguity in what D-Hop said. Go ahead.
Did you see what he called him?
I did. You go ahead and say it.
Scheme slime.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. These are, okay, serious allegations. I'm going to say it. I was debating about it.
Oh.
Here's the thing about Steve Keim, whether this is true or not. These are serious allegations against him.
Yeah.
Here's what shocked me the most is I'm reading them over the weekend and I see D-Hop stuff and I'm going through it. My reaction to this, Dale, was, makes sense. It wasn't not Steve Keim. He wouldn't have done that. There's no way that would have happened. That wasn't my reaction. My reaction was, this could be real. That's not good to have that reaction to something that serious to where my reaction, because normally I'm like, yeah, somebody's screwing the rules. And I went, this should be looked in more. I would not be shocked if it's true because Steve Keim just strikes me as a guy. Steve Keim strikes me as a guy that's not a good dude.
Was the impetus Hopkins saying to save the Cardinals $13 million?
Well, I know what he meant by some people were like, oh, he lost $13 million with the 6-game suspension.
Yeah.
So he didn't, whatever.
The Cardinals didn't pay him.
Yeah, you don't in a suspension. Yeah, non-paid for that stuff, for the drug test. No, it was for the Ponzi scheme. You don't trust people that don't wear socks. And I try to do it with a straight face. In all seriousness, Dale, my reaction for the first part of it, the Ponzi scheme, I went, that ain't good.
Right.
We need to look into this. And then with the Hopkins thing, I went, well, that's plausible. I didn't have there's no way. We need more proof of this. I went, well, we should look into this stuff. That told me something when I reacted that way. Because usually when that stuff comes out, I go, angry people just saying stuff.
Right. Sour grapes or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I did not say that in this instance.
No.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a track record of
That's the
You
problem.
know, firing an offensive line coach that looks like you for possibly doing what you were
There's a thank you, Dale. That's the problem. There's a history of things when Steve Keim was part of this organization that were shady as heck, and we never got the answers to.
Yeah.
I don't remember that coach's name, but down in Mexico, he got flown out middle of the night, fired. His DUI, where he still gets to keep his job. Why would Michael Bidwell keep him, Dale? There's enough smoke here that when these stories came out this weekend, you go, somebody should probably look into that a little deeper.
Right.
It wasn't, there's no way that guy's doing. I'd be shocked if that happens to him. That was the alarming thing to me, was my reaction. And I'll tell you this, a lot of other people on social media's reactions was the same as mine. It's not good.
Because
it's not good.
But usually you hear when a player talks about a drug suspension and I don't put anything in my body and all that. Usually if they're not that kind of person, they made a mistake.
Yeah.
Or something that they
you
took
take something
that,
you're not supposed to. And it has it in it. And you don't know it has it in it or whatever. Yeah. You didn't check, whatever. I firmly believe, though, because there's ways to check on it. I firmly believe you take it with the chance you don't get caught. And then afterwards you go, I didn't know that. You don't look. I'll put it this way. You don't look at the list on purpose. So if you get caught, that's your explanation. I believe that's how that happens. But this Steve Keim story is fascinating to me because here's the side of it. There's no way the owner doesn't know if that's going on. There's no way. There's no. Now, the Ponzi scheme thing after he leaves is a different situation. I'm talking about the D-Hop situation.
Right.
If something happens shady with D-Hop, there is zero chance. And then you keep the guy employed. This is pretty damning on the ownership as well, if that part of it's true.
Yes.
If that part of it's true.
Be interesting to see if somebody looks into it.
You almost have to now, don't you, if you're the NFL? But here's my question. Did D-Hop file a complaint with the union back then? Or is this, like I said, it could lead us. I'm not saying it's not sour grapes. I'm saying that wasn't my reaction that it's sour grapes.
Right.
And it was funny, Dale. I was sitting there going, why didn't I react the other way? Why did I react of, this wouldn't surprise me?
Yeah, instead of saying, oh, that's just D-Hop revisiting something happened 4 years ago.
I firmly went D-Hop's side on this one. And that's unusual for me. I'm always skeptical on this type of stuff. Like, all right, let's investigate it and move on. Robert, Sean Kugler was the guy's name.
That's the guy's name.
Robert gave us that as well, where they looked a lot alike. That wasn't just a hot rumor. That was...
There's a little too much smoke.
The reason why you haven't heard from Sean Kugler in his lawsuit is because it was paid privately behind the scenes, folks, to shut him up. But
he's probably out on his ranch.
Gonna throw that. He got a nice check to take the fall for that, if you know what I mean, out there. Before we take a break here, but just keep an eye on the Steve Keim thing, because I'm not saying it's going to get to the point where Michael Bidwell will have to sell his team or anything like that, but. If something happened with D-Hop like that and you kept the guy employed, that is damning in those circles as well. You would think it would be damning, but it is the NFL and probably everybody does it, Dale, and they'll all just sweep it under the rug. Ethan says, is Dale replacement Graham? Ooh, that's right. We can have Graham Tate in here.
Wow.
Dale, you got to make it like 10, 15 more years. So
because you don't want him coming in here in sixth grade. You have to go 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
But we'll get all the tea from what's happening there in sixth grade. Yeah.
Boy, I'm looking at Sean Kugler's picture.
He looks awfully like Steve Keim.
Yes, he does.
Especially if you're in a dark Mexican bar and it's dark in there and you're all having tequila shots, doesn't he?
Wow.
Ann says, who does the stadium always chant for? I don't know of any other player that Cardinals fans chant for. There have been chants in the past, but nothing like Larry. Like I said, Larry would catch a 5-yard out and a spontaneous chant would break out and things to that effect. We need more Larrys on this team is what I'm getting at. Robert says, Larry tackling Kurt when he was doing reporting on the sideline will never not be funny. That was his gimmick. He'd go to the sideline and to tackle guys and embarrass them on the sideline and stuff. Robin says, given Sean Payton's choices when he played, does he make the Hall of Fame? I'll go a step farther. Forget about playing days. And what was he, a 3-year player or something like that? He didn't play that long. Because he was one of those scab guys. He played during the 87 season. Scab guys can't make the Hall of Fame, can they?
Not in baseball, I know that. Maybe in football.
But he's not going to go in as a player.
No.
He's going to go in as a coach.
I remember he was part of the Bounty Gate.
Take that knowledge there. Does he get in? Is he a Hall of Fame coach? In my opinion, yes. Bounty Gate, though, does that take him out? That's serious. That was I wasn't upset about it. I didn't care about it, but the NFL sure reacted like it was the worst thing on the planet.
Well, it ended Kurt Warner's career.
That went back to Buddy Ryan, man, and went before that too, folks. It happened all the time in football. I'm sure you can tell stories where it probably happened in the Cowboys locker room. Here to share? Come on back, folks. The main event. And we're back here. Main events. Having some fun. Shows on Monday just fly by, folks. So much to talk about. We'll talk more about it as the week goes on, but your Arizona Rattlers won in San Diego yesterday. Beat the 1 seed. They beat the 2 seed previous week, 1 seed yesterday. I told you guys going into the playoffs, my stance has changed. That defense and that Rattlers defense is perennial. It's dominant. They went into San Diego, shut down a really powerful offense there in San Diego as well. Get the win. Game got close toward the end there. San Diego made a run back into it. Refs made a terrible mistake again, like last year in the playoffs. And Rattlers ended up losing at home in that moment. The refs stopped the clock when they shouldn't have and allowed San Diego to have another play or two. Now they're up by 12, so that it was a little bit of gift. But I don't know how you, as a professional sports league, one, have your games on Yahoo Sports where that feed sucks ridiculous craziness.
I've tried to watch the last 2 weeks, and it got so annoying.
Awful. You have to constantly reset it. You have to re-click into the thing. It sucks, Yahoo Sports. Figure it out if you want to be a big-time broadcasting. Otherwise, IFL, put it back on YouTube. Put it back on YouTube. Zero problems there most of the time.
Right.
Some teams had problems because of internet and stuff. Terrible feed. But they got the win yesterday. Dominant win. We'll talk more about it as the week goes on. They play this Sunday, 4:30 p.m. our time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I have a beef with that. Why are you starting your championship game at 7:30 p.m. Eastern?
Well, Sunday evening,
Preseason football is going to get in the way?
7:30 Eastern's not bad.
It's terrible. Why not have a 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern start? Do it earlier in the day. What are you doing? I'll put it this way. The whole idea of the championship game is because your diehards like me are going to watch it, obviously.
Right.
The problem is you have an opportunity to maybe snake some casual fans. Because I think Green Bay and Arizona, Green Bay last year, Max Myler was the quarterback for them. Quarter of an inch from scoring a touchdown to win that game over Vegas. That's how close that game was last year. And he's going up against his own team in Green Bay. There are storylines galore this week on that matchup. You have the potential to lure in some casuals that could catch this game if you have it on at a decent hour. That's what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I'm not the big boy. Maybe Yahoo Sports has to cover something else more important. Maybe that guy that's pokey hair. He was in Green Bay. He wasn't in San Diego yesterday. The pokey head guy that walks on the field. Maybe he couldn't. His mom wouldn't let him out till 7:30 or something. I don't know.
Oh.
I hope. Dale, you going to go with us? Credentials? Want me to put your name in for credentials?
No, thank you. Are you going?
It was funny, too, because I emailed. Because I would have forgotten. So last night, they win the game. I emailed the media group, and I go, hey, FYI, just want to know, how do we apply for credentials for this? Just because I was like, I can't forget. I'll forget. Because last year, I forgot about it.
Right.
And like literally the day before, they emailed out. Or Thursday or Friday, they emailed out, and they're like, last chance. And I was like, and I didn't see the email till like Saturday morning. I was like, oh, crap, forgot all about it. And everything like that. So he replied, because they're the team. Last year, they were begging people to go down there and cover it.
Okay.
Because it was Green Bay and Vegas, right? A lot of their fan base isn't traveling to Tucson to watch this game.
Mm-hmm.
So last year they were kind of like, hey, if you want a credential, you can have it. This is the email I got last night. I'm planning to reach out to the league first thing tomorrow morning and find out about all of that.
See how it works.
I'm going to get shut out, right? Which I'm not the end of the world. I don't need to go to Tucson. They're doing a big, if you live in Tucson, those of you that watch us in Tucson, I know there's a bunch of you down there. I'll give a shout out to Braxton. He's one of them. Saturday, they're doing a free media session there. It's free to go in, coaches, players. You can go in and watch and be around them. It's not like the NFL where you have to sit up in the stands and watch everybody else work, the media people. It'll be a little bit more interactive for you there and stuff like that. So if you're in Tucson on Saturday, big media event down there, free to enter, free to pay attention, free to go in there and stuff like that. So just go to Go IFL. All the info will be on that website. If you live in Tucson, young kids especially, look, there's some great players to get to know and meet down there that'll treat you great. And then also young players, they'll be in awe of that situation as well. So we'll find out. We'll find out if they allow me in the building.
And you'll go down on Saturday and Sunday?
Well, that's what we were talking about. That's what we're talking about. 'Cause I can drive down there back up. It's 90-minute
Get
drive.
a hotel room for crying
But
out loud.
Dude, it's Tucson. But also, do I need to go to the media thing on Saturday?
I don't know. They got some nice hotels up in the foothills, Steve.
Yeah, well, are you paying? You want to come with us? I'll put your name in too. Yeah. Ethan goes, I don't want to get killed.
Kidnapped.
Kidnapped. I've let my kids know about Tucson early in life, obviously.
Yeah.
So Rattlers there. We'll talk more Rattlers throughout the week. They lost one of their defensive guys, though. Didn't affect them yesterday. We'll have to see where we go from that side. But nice young team. And I'll say this, Dale. They've come together well as the season's gone on. This is better. This Rattlers team's better than the 24 team that won the championship.
Well, the thing is, and again, we've talked about it quite a bit on this show, the fact that they seem to play better on the road than they do at home. They haven't won a championship in Phoenix.
Yep. 24 season, same thing. They beat the 2 seed, and then they beat the 1 seed, and then they won the championship game. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. And it's like magic for them. It's like they're relaxed. They're more relaxed. And I'll even go a step farther and say the coaching staff seems to be more relaxed, more into the game, I should say, when they're not arguing with their fans on the sideline.
Wow.
I said it. Sorry, Coach. Love you, Coach. But no, it's fantastic. So they're down there. It'll be fun down in Tucson and everything. There'll be a big Rattlers crowd down there. It's easy to get down there.
Right.
I saw a lot of Rattlers. There was not a lot of people in San Diego. We were talking about driving over there. Autumn kept asking me if we're going to drive over there and stuff, but that game didn't get over to like almost 8. We wouldn't have gotten home till like 2, 3 in the morning.
Right.
That's assuming no stops. And I was like, that just doesn't sound fun to me. Game should be on Saturday, man. Saturday. But Rattlers made it on there. We'll talk more about them as the week goes on, as we figure out the schedule for the week down there in Tucson and all of that fun stuff happening. But Dale, we got to get into this. Your Arizona Diamondbacks. Are you pretty much driving this train now is what you're doing. Before we get into how great they are and they're the best team ever and extend Torrey and, Coach of the Year, hand him the trophy now.
So how are you going to poo-poo this weekend series? We left on Friday, and if you would have said that the Diamondbacks would win 2 out of 3, you would have been ecstatic.
Yeah, they should have swept them.
Yeah, of course. There's going to be something wrong with you. They're only 2 for 16 on. Here's what I understand on ESPN. I'm looking at the box score.
Yep.
They scored 1 run.
That's your first problem. Yes.
They only scored 1 run on Saturday.
Yes.
But it has them team and runners in scoring position 2 for 16. So I guess maybe they got a hit, but they didn't score.
Well, no, because it's runners in scoring position means you score them.
No, you could be on second base, get a hit, and he only goes to third.
Oh, to go third. Oh, yeah, maybe you're right.
I guess.
I don't know. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to lie to you. I do not know the answer to that. That's actually a fantastic question. Does that count second to third?
It's a hit with a runner in scoring.
Was it Saturday that they had a guy? If Saturday when they had a guy on third with no outs and they couldn't move him over?
No,
that was infuriating.
But
That was infuriating.
it's just absolutely astounding that they win on Friday, they win on Sunday.
Well, first of all, don't discount the win on Friday with Walt Schmidt.
Yes.
Game winner.
yeah.
I was giddy for a regular season baseball game. I was giddy.
It was absolutely, it was fun to watch. It was a huge win.
But Saturday was fantastic. Went 10 innings, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, Saturday was the frustrating game. Like I said, if that was the game where they got on third and they couldn't get him home, that was enough to stab your eyeballs out. You were so frustrated with the situation, and a lot of that to me was, I know the players have to execute, Dale. I get that, but at the same time, coaching staff made just some decisions that you're like, why are you making that guy bunt? You obviously can't do it. You obviously can't do it. I'm not gonna bash players. Just saying. But I mean, even then, 0 for 7 with runners in scoring possession yesterday. And they win 4-2.
So 2 out of 3 for the Dodgers, the indomitable Dodgers, the unbeatable Dodgers.
What are you talking about? They've lost 8 of 9 now.
The all-star laden Los Angeles Dodgers.
Ohtani went 1 for 11 in this D-back
They
series.
tied him up. The pitching was dramatic against him.
I mean, even fought on Saturday. Unbelievable pitching outing by him. Unbelievable pitching outing. He didn't get the win, of course, or the loss, but just these starting pitchers, right? And you're getting Soroka back tonight.
Yes, that'll be interesting.
If he comes back just what he was before or close to it, holy crap. You have a 4-man starting lineup here as pitchers that are just dumb. They'll falter. They'll falter at times, like all pitching staffs do. They're not going to be perfect the rest of the season. But you have a world-class starting for a rotation with Soroka coming back tonight on top of it. I mean, Dale, in all seriousness, I mean, you can, like I said, that man on third with nobody out just kills you. Just kills you. Just absolutely is unacceptable. It shouldn't happen. But that's not a Torrey issue. You're not going to blame Torrey for that. It happens. Sometimes you don't convert it. It just happens in baseball. I get it. But you just can't. I mean, Rodriguez yesterday, 7 innings, right? And then Clark and Ginkel, you only had 2 guys in your bullpen that have to pitch yesterday.
Right.
Then after the game, I think Torrey said 4 or 5 of his bullpen guys weren't even available yesterday.
Right.
So if Rodriguez didn't pitch the way he pitched, and then Clark or Ginkel struggle, it would have got ugly quickly because he didn't have a lot of availability. You don't find that out till after the game. And they were able to put it together and work. Not everything that they're doing is turning to gold, but a lot of it is. And that's how you win 2 out of 3. And then not just that, you split the Padres series, against a really hot offense as well with not your best pitchers on the mound. They're fantastic. They're playing fantastic right now.
Erod, 7 innings pitched, 115 pitches.
Yeah, he was low pitch count most of that game.
Yeah, but 115 pitches was that's the most he's gone, I think, in his career.
Yeah.
And he sucked it up, figured out a way to get Ohtani there at the end.
Yeah, I know, that was awesome.
Yeah,
what's up with Ohtani, man?
You just can't hit Diamondbacks pitching.
Here's the bad news, though, is the Dodgers had 7 losses in a row last year. What they ended up doing to the Dodgers, an 8 out of 9 doesn't matter to them.
Well, see, you say that, but then when we say, well, the Diamondbacks struggled in July of that year, they went to the World Series. Oh, that's not going to happen again. Well, maybe this is going to falter for the Dodgers.
Yeah, but the talent on the Dodgers is a little bit. I'll say this: the Dodgers are more broken than you'll give them credit for. There's some. The Dodgers are beatable, especially come playoffs.
Right.
It's going to take the right moment. You might almost a perfect type series to beat them, but the Dodgers are beatable. Last year, just nobody could touch them. But their age, a lot of their superstars aren't hitting well. They're beatable, especially if you get to their starting pitching early. They're beatable. But it's going to take a monumental effort in the playoffs to do it. But they're not as invincible as you think they are.
And here's the thing about the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are not intimidated by them.
No.
They match up well with them.
That's the amazing thing to me. I think they're more struggle against the Padres than they do the Dodgers.
Very well could.
I think the matchup I think they go into the Dodgers series and they're like, we're good. And they go into the Padres series like, oh. This could be hairy. You got 3 against the Rockies now. You got to win this series. You can't back up the Dodgers. The Padres run, and then the Dodgers won by not winning the Rockies series. Jake McCarthy's on fire. The Rockies can hit. Now it's here. It's not in Colorado, so that'll kind of take their bats away a little bit. But you got to stop Jake McCarthy. Right? We all get to watch him for 3 days now because Diamondbacks didn't give him a chance. 6:40 p.m. tonight, Soroka on the mound. This is going to be fun to watch tonight. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and dominate because it's his first game back. That does worry me a little bit.
Yep.
I'm not going to freak out if he has a bad outing tonight.
Yes, you will.
But it's good to see him back.
You'll come in tomorrow morning.
Yeah, see, I cut him.
Yeah.
Send him back to Canada.
The sun's
Blame
not coming
Canada.
out.
Blame Canada.
It's going to be a cold summer in Arizona.
Because here's the deal. You got Thursday off after the Rockies. You're at Braves, playoff team, at Red Sox, hottest team in baseball, and it ain't even close. The Red Sox are on fire right now. Coming up. So you go from 3 against the Rockies after what you did, and then the Braves and the Red Sox on the road coming up. It gets hard quickly. Then you got the Reds and then the Cubs. Cubs are a tough team as well. And then it kind of settles down a little bit for you again after that. Out there, throw up the NL wild card for me, if you will, Ethan. Look at that. This is what cracks me up about this time of year because we follow the wild card. We don't do it at the beginning of the season. We do it, end of June, stuff like that, and start paying attention to it. But we throw it up pretty much every day. After what you just did against the Dodgers, and you're still tied with the Phillies for the second and third spot there, right? And the Padres are still 1 game behind. You did all of it, and the Marlins are still 3, Cardinals still 3.5. Basically, nothing changed after a 3-game series. But that's why it's important you stay in the playoff hunt.
Well, they're very easy. Could have went 0-3 against the Dodgers and then be out of the wild card.
They would have been out of it if they got by it, or they'd be tied with the Padres, and then they would have the tiebreaker for that 3rd spot, I think, right? That's why they're in the catbird seat. They need to stay in that catbird seat as well. Coming up. But look, 63 wins for them.
Yeah.
We need to keep going because I have the over for them this season. So let's keep going, baby.
Yeah, well, then start talking positive about it.
They need to start doing stuff, Dale. Stop making me look negative.
Would you stop?
Stop leaving a guy on 3rd. That Perdomo triple. I was in the movies when the game was going on, so I had to go back and watch highlights and kind of pay attention to it. But I think it was Robert. I think I'm attributing it to the right person. Robert, it was a smart tweet, so if it wasn't you, just take credit for it. But he said, in terms of, because it's Hall of Fame weekend, a Corbin triple is kind of like a Larry Katz, where the crowd just loses their mind, starts chanting and celebrating.
Oh, yeah.
And I agree with that. It was on top of the Perdomo triple, so it's 2 triples in a row. But no, there's something, even a double from Carroll, man, gets you juiced. Because he's just running hard. Helmet's flopping. Hair just gracefully flying through the wind. It's kind of like when I run down.
You see where his girlfriend sang the...
and he didn't know she was going to do that, I heard,
I'm kind of
huh?
surprised by it.
Yeah. What if they even talk?
Hey, honey, I'll see you at the ballpark tonight.
Yeah, like, how do you keep that secret? And they're just like, and singing the anthem. And you're like sitting there warming up going, wait, what?
I didn't know if she could sing.
Would that be funny? He's like, I've never heard her sing a day in my life. What in the world? Yeah.
How about the Wall-Schmidt home run Friday night?
Oh, my God. Dale, it's a regular season game. And it was the Dodgers, but just the way they fought in that game. And then now the next night, Wall-Schmidt was up. Same type of a situation and struck out. But on Friday night, man, when he hit that thing, I don't know how you didn't get jacked up. And I get it's the Dodger, but you would have been jacked up in any scenario where he hit that thing, man. That thing was gone. And they need to stop. We'll have to see what the move is with Soroka today. Who goes down? Who gets DFA'd? Because they got Lawler coming back, Gurriel coming back. Somebody's getting DFA'd or sent down. Going up here. I have a feeling it might be Barossa. It might be the Barossa time to go. Because here's my point. I'm kind of tired of seeing them take Waldschmidt out late in inning games for defensive purposes and putting Barossa in. Because did anybody see Waldschmidt this weekend and a couple of his catches he made? I think he can handle it, Dale. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, Barrosa's obviously on the base paths a lot faster.
Yeah, and well, fine, DH him. Put him in the DH side if you need to. But he doesn't need to go out there for a defensive replacement. But he can't hit. That's the other side of it, though, Dale. Really quick, Pro Football Talk this morning. Robert tagged us on this. Former Cardinals GM Steve Keim has ties to Muhammad Coulibaly.
He's dead.
No, not that Muhammad.
Oh, no, but there is a...
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that's the guy that died. That's how this story came out.
Yeah.
But he was a scam artist and found dead under mysterious circumstances. My point is the rumors over the weekend was Steve Keim had ties to him. Pro Football Talk 2 hours ago made it official that he has ties to him. That's that Ponzi scheme thing. I have a feeling this ain't going to end well, man. If you know Steve Keim, man, distance yourself.
Didn't he sign with an agency?
I was wondering if he still worked with him. Yeah, it was that big. You remember he walked in with no socks on?
I thought that he had signed with them.
He
I'm
did.
not sure if he's still
But he
working.
was running it and stuff. He wasn't like an agent or something like that. Steve Keim employment. Let me just look it up here really quick before we end the show here. My only point in saying that is the rumors over the weekend was that he knew the guy. Because Steve Keim went to Clutch Sports. That's where he went to run their sports side. I do not see if he still works there or not as of now. I'm not going to dig into it now. But the bigger thing here is when Pro Football Focus is putting it out there, that means they've confirmed he's got ties to the scam artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like Steve just waking up and on the wrong side of the bed.
He worked for LeBron. Look at that with Clutch Sports. According to Wikipedia, he's still there. September 19, 2024. He was hired as the general manager of Clutch Sports Group as well. So, yeah. LeBron James, of course, is with Clutch Sports. Myles Garrett's there. Jalen Hurts is part of that organization. I mean, all the big name guys.
Yeah, I think
Anthony Davis is with them.
I think Rich Paul might want to get rid of him. You don't need that around your agency.
Especially if you're, he was inducted into the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in 2004. What, for DUIs? Blood alcohol level? Dale, fun Monday with you, man. Always good to see you.
Time flies when you're having fun, Steve.
Hey,
and
you know
tomorrow,
what? I'm just glad there was no big event this weekend that you had to miss, so you got your wife sick and into the hospital, so you could miss it. I'm just glad that happened. That didn't happen this weekend. Robert says season's going to come down to the final series in San Diego because Diamondbacks play San Diego. I firmly believe that's the case. Actually, I think that it's Phillies, Padres, and Diamondbacks. I've been telling you guys for several weeks now. Those three are. It's coming down to those three teams for 2 spots.
Yeah.
And it's going to be that way for the rest of the season as well. So really quick, Robert gave us some stats here. He says runners in scoring position only counts hits. Runs don't factor into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you move a guy from second to third, you get a second one. Is that how? I actually don't know the answer to that rule. That's a rule I don't know. So if you're on second and somebody gets a hit, you get another runners in scoring position credit.
That's what
Because
I'm
he's
saying.
a third? Yeah.
That
That's
had
how
to happen on Saturday.
That's weird. I never even thought about that
Right.
rule, to be honest
Big
with
run
you.
in scores position, you're
Yeah.
going to score them if you get a hit.
Robert says they were 4 for 30 on the weekend, 133 average. Ooh. As well. Ohtani's not pitching because of his knee. Could be impacting his at-bats. See, I thought that as well, but they said it's not affecting his at-bats. Oh, no. Did you see that Cubs series when they got swept by the Cubs? Ohtani and PCA, Pete Armstrong there, Pete Crow Armstrong, they were battling it out with home runs and big hits, that whole series and everything. It's Robert, the Diamondbacks just stifled them. Give the D-backs credit.
Good pitching, Cy Young after Cy Young.
Ethan goes, Robert's been waiting to talk baseball all show. Wow. Well, with Larry, yeah, he brings all the stats. Well, with Larry's enshrinement, we had to go football first here today as well and everything. Robert says season. Oh, I already told you that. Season's going to come down to the end.
ASU?
Yeah.
ASU, Tonazona?
Yeah, they are they at Ton? Did we confirm? Are they at? They're not at Tonazona this week, are they? Did we confirm that?
I think they're going.
We're actually gonna. They're at their facility here. They're not there yet. So ASDL thinks they still go for the whole training camp. That was 50 years ago, man.
I thought I saw something over the weekend they're getting on the buses, but Maybe I didn't.
It was just the bus to the bubble. We'll talk ASU, U of A tomorrow as well with their camps because they've been going on. Talk about them coming up because yesterday we were about a month away from college football starting, folks, as well. Coming up. It'll be fun. Preseason football begins for everybody else. Cardinals play the Raiders on Thursday. Do we see Francisco Mendoza on Thursday, Dale? Do we? Red White scrimmage was yesterday. Carson Beck came down to earth a little bit in the red white scrimmage over the weekend.
He looked really good too.
For a little bit, for a couple series. I'll tell you this. Jacoby Brissett making some mistakes, throwing some INTs. Now's not the time, Jacoby. Now's not the time. We'll talk about it all tomorrow, folks. Come back. The main event.